So this is just ridiculous. This is the proof just how bad this whole situation is. And what it is, this is a video that I made just yesterday based on Kevin Feige, and he claimed back in 2016 that Brie Larson was a fan of Captain Marvel before the movie was conceived because of the comic book. And this was really strange at the time, very odd. It seemed very over the top, as if he was lying. Now this is the proof that he was, and just how ridiculous this whole mess is. Now this is a video from John Talks, and John Talks, I've said before, is a great YouTuber. And what it is, it's an interview, recent interview, probably about 6 months old. It's a promotional piece for the Captain Marvel movie. And it's Brie Larson admitting that she's actually never heard of Captain Marvel character. And this is the whole ridiculous, this makes it even worse. She actually thought that she was going to play the role of Captain America and take over from Chris Evans. And she felt very confused. And she said that people are telling me that I should play Captain Marvel, but I've never heard of this character. So that's the proof that Kevin Feige back in 2016 was lying. He said in this interview that Brie Larson was a fan of the comics, yet here she is, about 3 years later, claiming or admitting that she'd never heard of the character before. It's just so ridiculous. But this is the reason why all this mess has happened, and it's a response to this movie. So what it is that many people think that Kevin Feige is the person running Marvel, but you have to remember he does have bosses at Disney, and Kevin Feige will make probably 98% of all the decisions. He will have bosses, so he has a boss who runs all the movies at Disney, and then you have Kevin Feige. So either his boss or Kevin Feige has learned or heard that DC are planning to make a standalone Wonder Woman movie, and they see it as an opportunity for two things. One, it's an opportunity to make money by releasing a competitive movie in the case of Captain Marvel, but also they don't want Marvel and Disney to appear sexist, because if they didn't release Captain Marvel, Marvel and Disney would receive more and more pressure and criticism for being sexist and only releasing male-led movies. So that's what Marvel have done. Marvel have been forced to release Captain Marvel as a response to Wonder Woman. And really the proof is that in this video I made yesterday, I point out that Brie Larson keeps going on TV and in interviews and claiming that when she arrived on set there was no script, and there was no script for the standalone Captain Marvel movie. Yet even at this point back in 2016, Kevin Feige has had about 6 or 7 years to plan in advance and get the scripts ready. And the reason there was no scripts ready for when Brie Larson took on the job is because they were forced to release Captain Marvel and make it and film it and write the scripts as a response to Wonder Woman. That's why Captain Marvel was rushed out, because Disney forced Kevin Feige to release Captain Marvel because they didn't want to appear sexist, and they also wanted to cash in and follow in the footsteps of Wonder Woman and trying to make a load of money, which they've done. They've made a lot of money from the Captain Marvel movie. So back in 2016, Kevin Feige didn't really want to release Captain Marvel movie, and that's why he's having to lie. He's having to throw as much hot air and lies into the situation, because he knew that he didn't really want to make Captain Marvel at this point. Now, I'm not saying he didn't want to make it at all, but he planned to release it in the future, maybe 12 months from now or 2 years from now. But Disney forced him to release it a month ago, or more recently that he planned to, without any scripts ready in advance with when he hired the actress, because it is a response to Wonder Woman. So it's very similar to the car companies. Let's say, for example, BMW introduce a new piece of technology to the cars. All the other car companies essentially panic and they try and copy BMW as soon as possible. And it's very similar in the movie industry. These companies are so big and so competitive, they have to compete against each other. So the way for Marvel and Disney to compete against Wonder Woman is for them to release Captain Marvel. And that is why you have Kevin Feige claiming, or basically lying to people. He said that Brie Larson was a fan of Captain Marvel because she'd read the comics, yet recently she's admitted that she's actually never heard of them, and she actually thought that she was going to play Captain America. In this interview she laughed and she made a joke about it at the time, but she said that she thought that she was going to play the role of a man, and she felt very confused as to what was happening. She actually says that in this interview. So Kevin Feige is lying through his back teeth. He said back in 2016 that Brie Larson was a fan of the comics, yet more recently she's admitted quite openly in a promotional video for Captain Marvel movie that she'd never heard of the character. So that shows that Kevin Feige was lying, and the reason all this mess has come about of this Captain Marvel movie is it's just a response to Wonder Woman. So let me know what you think in the comments below. If you disagree, let me know in the comments below. But there's so much proof emerging. Like I said, Brie Larson keeps saying that there's no scripts. Kevin Feige lied about Brie Larson being a fan of the comics. This movie is a mess, and it's turning Marvel into a mess because they panicked and they released the movie early to compete with Wonder Woman. That's all this is about. Again, leave your comments below and also like and subscribe.